Hello everybody, this is the first input for our trip. It's like a video diary that's going on. We're taking a tour called the it's called the Japan Deluxe Tour, and today is September 30th, and it's about 7 o'clock, or actually it's 8:30 p.m. and I'll be going ahead and doing a quick recap of so far what's going on and what's already happened. This is for anybody who has questions and thinking about taking this tour. These are some things that we've come across, both good and bad. We'll be discussing everything that has gone on with this. First off, we left at 12 o'clock on Sunday, the 28th of September, and that's 12 p.m. in the afternoon from LAX, Los Angeles International Airport. We took a flight out on Korean Airlines, and we had a choice of multiple airlines, but at the time we decided to take Korean Airlines because our round-trip ticket cost per person was $400 less. Although in past history we've flown Japan Airlines before and really enjoyed it, we decided on Korean Airlines was worth the savings. So we took the flight out there, and it was a 12-hour and 30-minute flight in airtime from the time that we took off to the time that we landed. So we ended up landing in Japan at Narita Airport in Tokyo at 3:30 p.m. and that was Monday, the next day, the 29th. Because you pass the international date line, you'll be losing a day coming over. So we left on 12 o'clock Sunday, landed at 3 p.m. on Monday the next day. From there, our tour guide met us right in the airport. The airport here was very efficient. It could have been our timing, but we had no lines to wait on. As soon as we got off the plane, we went straight to the area where we get our passport stamped. There was no line waiting there. We immediately got up there. They stamped it. Got our luggage right after. Went through customs with, again, no line. It was a breeze going through everything that we had. We were one of the last to get off the plane as well. So even with our whole plane ahead of us getting off, we still had no wait. So it was really nice to get out there. As soon as we got our luggage and we walked up to the front, we had our tour guide waiting for us. She was holding a sign that said Japan Deluxe Tour, and it was easy to identify. As soon as we met with her, she got us tickets for a bus ride that took us to our hotel. Now normally, I guess most guests will stay at a hotel near the airport, but our particular tour was changed to actually stay in the hotel that was in downtown Tokyo for the first 2 nights. So we only had to unpack our luggage once for the first 2 nights, where normally you'd unpack your luggage at the hotel near Narita, and the next morning you actually would do your tour and then actually unpack at the Tokyo Prince Hotel, which is where we're at tonight. But since we came straight to the Tokyo Prince Hotel, we were lucky that we just had to wake up in the morning and everything stayed where it was at. Now, another thing that we had a benefit of is if you choose to sign up to go ahead and not have to have your room cleaned, because we're here for 2 nights, they gave us a $10 voucher for the convenience store that's downstairs in the lobby of this hotel. And that allowed us to go ahead and get some bottled water if you wanted to, some pastry. You can pick up some necessities that you might need, or even a little bit of gifts that they had down there. So for $10 worth, or 1,000 yen, at the exchange rate today, it's about $10 worth US dollars. We were able to go ahead and pick up some bottled water. It was a neat convenience just to not have our room cleaned, since we're only staying 2 nights anyway. In the morning, we had a 7 o'clock wake-up call. Now with the time change, we both chose to sleep in all the way through from about after we got in till the next morning straight through. But let me back up a little bit about when we got to our hotel. We landed, oh not landed, but we actually got dropped off by our bus at the hotel at about 6 o'clock p.m. So even though our flight landed at 3:30 p.m. at the airport, after getting all our luggage, getting our bus tickets, we jumped on the bus at 4:10. And then even though it should have been only an hour and 10-minute ride to the hotel, because of rush hour traffic, it actually turned out to be about almost 2 hours to get from the airport to the hotel itself. So if you get one of those trips that are going to be that long, I would highly recommend using the restroom at the airport before leaving. But once we got to the hotel, we unpacked and got checked in. And because we're right next to the Tokyo Tower, is that what it's called? Yeah, we're next to the Tokyo Tower. As you can see in the background, that's actually our window that's open. Then you can see it. And my mother and my sister have a room too that has almost the same view that we do. So it's a nice view, because that's the Tokyo Tower is considered one of the best tourist locations in Tokyo, or one of the most desired to be seen tourist locations. So we went, actually, as soon as we got, even though we were really tired, at 6 o'clock, after we unpacked everything, we actually went over to the Tokyo Tower to go ahead and have a short meal before sleeping in for the rest of the night. Oh, there was a Japanese restaurant in there, so we had some typical Japanese restaurant food. And I actually got back to our hotel room after having a nice dinner and decided to go ahead and sleep. So I went to bed about 8:30, 9 o'clock after a full days of traveling and a little bit of eating. Our flight actually had 2 meals on it, which was really good. For Korean Airlines, the first meal that you'd get is one of their specialties, or well-known dishes of it's called bibimbap. And it's a mixture of rice and vegetables with a little bit of hot sauce mixed in the rice. And it was a really good meal, actually, if you like that kind of food. And then we also had a dinner meal that actually came with our flight, and that one too we had a chicken, or a choice of chicken or pasta. For the lunch meal, besides the bibimbap, you also had a choice of a beef dish, which my sister said was really good too. So both we'd highly recommend, depending on what kind of foods you're interested in. For the flight, although they do feed you 2 meals, it is a long time between meals. I would highly recommend bringing some snack food that can hold you over, like almost as good as a meal, maybe some granola bars or something that can hold you over. Next morning at 7 o'clock, we have 2 choices where you can eat. In the hotel, in the lobby, there is a restaurant buffet style breakfast that is more Japanese traditional, and there's also an American side or Western side breakfast that you can actually choose from. We chose to eat at the Japanese side, and I had your typical omelets. They also had boiled eggs, some sausages, bacon, miniature pancakes. So that was still a Western style breakfast for me, but there was also some Japanese style foods that were available for I guess the local Japanese people who travel down here. After our breakfast, that started about 7:30 or so, we met in the lobby at 9 o'clock, and we boarded a bus and headed out to the Imperial Palace. Now the weather here is actually really overcast and a constant light drizzle that was coming down on us, and due to a typhoon that's coming up from down south. And it's actually traveling parallel to Japan, so we're getting like the outskirt weather that comes out of the typhoon. The weather is fairly cool for those of you that are actually cold type people that need a lot of jackets. For me, it was very comfortable because it's a little muggy as well. I just dressed layered. I wore a t-shirt and had a fleece sweatshirt in case it got cold, and then I also had a waterproof jacket. Whereas others in the tour group were actually wearing a lot more heavier clothing of like sweatshirts and then also waterproof jackets. So there's a variety of ways that you might want to dress. Just know that it's nice weather, maybe about between 60 and 65 degrees Fahrenheit for us. The Celsius meters around here are reading about 19 to 20 degrees Celsius. So that was typical weather is about 10 degrees Celsius hotter, normally about 30 degrees. So I consider it a blessing to have cooler weather because you can always keep warm, but if it's hot and muggy, it's kind of hard to keep cool. The bus is a little warm as well, and the drives are through a lot of traffic. So we went to the Imperial Palace first and got a chance to go ahead and walk around very briefly out there, carrying some umbrellas, taking some pictures. You can go into the palace, so it's not somewhere that you're going to spend a long time anyway. It's really just for photo opportunities and to learn a little bit of history about it. Then we actually head out to so that maybe Imperial Palace was about 45 minutes or so, walking through a garden and then to the palace and then back to the bus. Then we headed out through the Ginza district. This is where the most popular prestigious shopping area is. We didn't stop at it though. It's actually, even though it is known for shopping, we went straight through the district, heading through the place called Asakusa, which is a temple, which is also a very highly touristed area. So going through Ginza, we got to see a lot of the high-end stores like Coach and Louis Vuitton, Prada, and all the high-end type of fashion stores.